Morning, everybody, and we just wanted to come together today. Myself and Catherine from PHA, Fifi and Sam from Stand in the Park. And joining us as well is Ian Jarvis, who is our 5G expert. Sorry, Ian, but that's my name for you. So we just wanted to create a little bit of background as to why we put this checklist together. I think there's a lot of stuff being thrown at us at the moment. We've got all sorts of consultations coming out from the government under the radar so that we don't know they're there. But luckily we have people that spot these things. We have, 5G, we have 15-minute cities, etc. There's a lot of stuff being thrown at us. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world to distract us from all these things so that they can sneak things in. So what we thought we'd do was put together a checklist of these things where you as the individual can really have an impact on these and make a difference. So many people come to me and say, but I can't do anything. I'm just one person. What can I do? Now, if we all come together, and it's very clear from what's going on in Oxford at the moment, when we come together, we have one great big voice. And as long as we're consistent and doing it together, we can really have an impact on these things. So that's the reason for the checklist. Just I'll kick off with the consultations that are being sneaked out there. There's a great guy, if you don't follow him, Jeff Buys Cars on YouTube, and he has put together a series of videos to cover these consultations. So you've got your digital ID, which closes next Wednesday, the 1st of March. So that's a real priority on this checklist. Then we've got the road charging scheme, which closes, I think, on the 8th of March. Or is it the 10th?
I think it's the 10th.
Yeah. I'll tell you the 8th and then you'll get it done quicker. No excuses. Yeah. And then we've got the digital pound, which we've got until June to complete. But the amazing Jeff Buys Cars, and I would buy a car off this guy because he's obviously very smart and knows his stuff. He has been through them with a fine-tooth comb. He has put together suggested replies to each of the questions in the consultations. So there's very little to do other than follow the guidelines. If you haven't got time to do more than that, cut and paste and stick that response into the consultation. The more that we do, obviously, the better. So that's number one on the checklist. Number two, we've got 15-minute cities. Over to you, Fifi.
Yes, so I think most people will have seen the huge protest in Oxford at the weekend. Everybody's becoming very aware very quickly of what 15-minute cities are, because they're rolling out at pace now. We've got a list of 100 councils so far, which you can check to see whether your council has signed up. That's in the resource list, and you can register your opposition to your council. This is what needs to happen nationwide, is to get in there from day one, to make it very clear that you're completely against this proposal, that you do not consent. Because the thing with all of these things is, if they take your silence as tacit consent. So it's very, very important to just make your voice heard as early as possible. Very heartening response so far. Sam and I were at the Oxford protest on Saturday, and there's just massive opposition to this already. So it's just keep that momentum going. They do try and sneak these things through under the radar, and it's kind of on us really to keep on top of this. So yeah, if you refer to the resources, find out if your council is signed up already, and then if so, you can get those letters in to your MPs, to the councils. There's so many things that we can do. We can be organising smaller protests, around our council buildings, demanding answers. So yeah, that's kind of the 15-minute city.
Brilliant.
aspect.
Catherine, MP challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's absolutely no excuse for people to not get involved with the MP challenge. Whilst it's beneficial to email your MP, put the phone calls in, ask the questions, there's nothing quite as effective as sitting in front of your MP and calling them out, calling them to take action. Within the checklist, you'll see that there's documentation you can take with you, and we can then link your MP up to the full documents that support the evidence that they need to see what has been going on. And you need to ask them what you're going to do about it. Are you going to stand up in Parliament and say something? As your constituent, I demand that you do something about this. We need to hold their feet to the fire. They've had plenty of time to get on top of things. There's no excuses. And whilst we know some MPs are completely useless, and I've no doubt some of them are corrupt, actually it's about time that they, as individuals, were held to account. And it's up to us as constituents in which to do that and demand of them what we want. We stay peaceful, we stay respectful, we do it based on fact, because the facts are on our side. But now is the time to pile on the pressure and hold their feet to the fire. So do get involved with the MP challenge. The sooner we all get on this, the sooner we start making meetings, they're going to get the message from that alone. The sooner they're under pressure, and quite rightly so. So please do, everyone, contact your MP, book an appointment and go and sit in front of them face to face and watch them squirm. It is about time. The other thing that people can get involved with, which we'll add information to the checklist on, is the Vote Freedom Project, which has just been launched. This is an opportunity for people to get involved on the political level, if that's what resonates with them. And we do need to see 650 freedom-loving MPs getting into Parliament during 2024. We're going to need poll watchers. We're going to need whole crews to make sure that this system stays as democratic as it should be, and make sure that we get people in who are going to represent the people of the UK based on truth and honesty. And it doesn't need to be MP level. If you'd rather go in at local council level, city council level, we need to replace them all. The Vote Freedom Project will support you in the bureaucracy, the red tape, the paperwork, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. How do you run a campaign? What do you do? With 8 principles that we ask everyone to abide by, for example, freedom of speech. This is about we the people. It's time to stand up and play your role. And this whole checklist gives you a number of different routes with which to do that. But there's no excuse now. There's a number of things that everyone can get involved with. So if it's the MP challenge, do it. Every single one of you needs to do it. And with the Vote Freedom Project, if you feel confident that you can stand up and represent the people within your constituency, step forward and you will get the support you need.
Amazing. Thank you, Catherine. Ian, over to you for 5G.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm focusing on 5G and more than 5G, radio frequencies, it's important to me to note that the others are still around, is because it's really at the bottom of everything that we're being guided towards. It's without those 5G particularly, but also some of the 4G. 4G can do a lot. Smart cities will not work. And many other things as well. It's not about 5G is not about broadband. Even the chairman of Huawei has said that. It's about artificial intelligence. It's about robotics. It's about social control, central bank digital currencies. 4G can do a lot, and it can certainly start in what they need for the 5Gs, the 15-minute cities, but it will not do the whole lot. So that is why I focus very, very much on the practical aspect of stopping the planning permissions going through. Most masts require planning permission, even at the moment, and we can stop them. And I've got teams around the country and other teams not related to me in any way whatsoever are fighting these planning applications and getting the masts stopped. Every refusal means a hole in the system. And a quick finish, what the applicants and the telecom companies tell you about it only going 50 meters, and the council say 5G only goes 50 meters. It's utter rubbish. I've read a paper recently from Nokia which says one 5G mast in low band range can go hundreds of square miles. So that's it.
Yeah. No, fantastic, Ian. You're doing such a great job and bringing people together, communities together across the country. So they, within the checklist, what you'll find is Ian's contact details. Please get in touch with him because he can help you form teams around the country. And you're happy to travel, aren't you, Ian?
I'm happy to travel, yes. And did I put Suzanne's detail on the
Well, I've
checklist?
just put them in there. They're there as well.
Okay, thank you.
So Ian's now getting some support from Suzanne. So both those contacts.
It's her first week, so don't rush her too much.
Yeah,
Don't rush her.
Definitely. And finally, we've just put in there the importance, if you want to pick up on this one, Sam, of getting to know, supporting grassroots initiatives. And some great groups out there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we all know these massive protests, sort of in London and the one in Oxford, they're great, but it's really not the time to sort of be waiting for that monthly date of where you get masses of people together. And ultimately it's not the massive protests and huge amounts of people coming together that make the difference. What it does need is the grassroots in every single community coming together and working within their community to kind of raise the awareness, to work together. Obviously there is so much going on and so much to address that we can't all do everything sort of on our own. So obviously we've got a stand in the park which is obviously the best place to go and sort of come together with people and find out what else is going on. Through that, obviously you have got things like the PHA and the PFFA, and there are lots of other groups that are coming together to address the sort of individual issues and bring like-minded people together that have got a passion for, food and farming, or for health, for education, for activism. I think it's really, really important that it starts on a community level. And if we have these groups all over the country, all working together to do the new systems and to take action, to bring the community together and to I think raise the awareness, because as we all know, there's not a lot of people that are really aware of everything that is sort of coming at us. So the more we can do to raise awareness where we are, if that's going all over the country, it's sort of like little dots all joining up, that sort of all work together to make a bigger picture and improve things from a local.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sam. You know what? I think just on a final note, it's really great for your mental well-being to know that you're making a difference. I mean, a lot of us, I think, have been frustrated in the last few years. What can I do? Now that we've tried to make it as clear as possible, easy ways to get involved. And believe me, it will make a difference to your life, not just in terms of the impact you'll be having on what the government's trying to do, but also just for yourself to know that you are involved in something that's going to change history. So if you're sat there at home watching this, click on the document, commit to 15-20 minutes a day and tick them off one by one. Let's just make that impact. Start with your consultation for digital ID, because that one's pretty urgent. But get involved. You'll be glad you did. Thank you.